تحياتنا لكم متابعينا ومشاهدينا من قناة الأخبار. معكم حسين هاشم، موجودين في مدينة ديربورن، وأكيد في تغطية لهذه الوقفة. نبيل، فينا نوطي الصوت شوي بعد بس عشان الكوبي رايت. شكرا. أكيد مجددا تحياتنا لكم متابعينا ومشاهدينا من قناة الأخبار، موجودين في مدينة ديربورن الاميركية، وأكيد وقفة احتجاجية للجالية اليمنية والجالية العربية، أكيد تضامنا مع اليمن، استنكارا لقتل الابرياء الذي يحصل نتيجة الحرب على اليمن العزيز واليمن السعيد واليمن الشقيق. أكيد نحن في تغطية مباشرة لهذا الحدث، موجودين خارج المكتبة العامة في مدينة ديربورن على شارع ميشيغان افنيو، في خارج مكتبة هنري فورد سنتينيو لايبرري المتواجدة حد مركز شرطة مدينة ديربورن على شارع ميشيغان افنيو في مدينة ديربورن الاميركية. اكيد هيدي الوقفة الاحتجاجية اللي بلشت هلا من الساعة 3 عصرا في توقيت ولاية ميشيغان، وتستمر الى الساعة 6 مساء. اكيد رح يكون لنا نظرة على الاشخاص المتواجدين، رح يكون لنا بعض المقابلات لننقل صوتهم للرأي العام الامريكي والرأي العام العالمي. هؤلاء الاشخاص الذين يتحدون البرد ويتحدون المنخفض الجوي الصعب جدا صراحة. نحن موجودين حرارة منخفضة جدا، فاكيد تحية لهؤلاء اللي تحدوا كل الظروف المناخية لحتى يوصلوا صوتهم للعالم، وحتى يقولوا كلا للقتل، كلا للظلم، ونعم ليمن ينعم بالسلام والأمن. أكيد رح يكون لنا وقفة مع المتظاهرين لحتى أكيد ننقل صوتهم من مدينة ديربورن ليصل إلى كل الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وإلى كل العالم، وأيضا إلى إخواننا وأبنائنا وأخواتنا الموجودين في اليمن السعيد. خلينا نفرجيكم شو عم بيصير حوالينا. أخ نبيل، فينا نعمل معك انترفيو هيك حتى تقول شو عم تعملوا؟ توقف هون نبيل. تفضل عرفنا عن حالك.
نبيل التلايم.
نبيل خبرنا شو عم تعملوا
بالعربي؟
اليوم؟ ايه بالعربي او الانجليزي اللي بدك.
ان شاء الله. احنا هنا جينا من اجل اليمن فقط. احنا من ضد الحرب، ضد العدوان على اليمن، لانه الصواريخ اللي بتجي من الهواء لا تفرق بين جماعات ابدا، فهي تقتل كل كبير وصغير ولا تفرق بين جماعات. نحن هنا من اجل اليمن، ورسالتنا الى الرئيس الامريكي ان برفع يده في الدعم لدول الخليج، وعلى راسهم المملكه العربيه السعوديه والامارات. كفى قتل أطفال اليمن ونساء اليمن وأبطال اليمن، كفى تجويع اليمن واليمنيين. نحن هنا من أجل اليمن فقط. شكرا جزيلا، بارك الله فيكم.
يعطيكم العافية. أكيد رح يكون لنا مقابلات مع أشخاص.
النصر لليمن
إن شاء الله.
النصر لليمن، الموت لابن سلمان، الموت لابن سلمان.
تحب تحكي؟ حدا بيحب يقول شيء؟
مرحبا، اهلا وسهلا. نشكركم لحضوركم ومواكبتكم لهذه الفعاليه التي نقيمها وتقيمها الجاليه اليمنيه والشرفاء الاحرار والناشطين، مطالبين بوقف العدوان الهمجي على اليمن الذي يدخل في عامه السادس. اليمن تحت الضرب والحصار والتجويع والتفقير والفقر، أصبح أكبر أزمة إنسانية يشهدها العالم في العصر الحديث. كل هذا نتائج للتصرف الأرعن الغير محسوب، المبالاة الغير محسوبة والاستخدام المفرط للسلاح في قتل الابرياء، قتل الأطفال، تمزيق أشلائهم، تدمير بيوتهم، تحطيم مدارسهم، القضاء على مستشفياتهم. المواطن اليمني أصبح في أزمة ماسة، لا يجد الدواء ولا يجد الغذاء ولا يجد الطبابة ولا يجد شيئا من هذه الأشياء الضرورية التي يحتاج إليها كل إنسان ليبقى على قيد الحياة. أكثر من 2.5 مليون طفل يعانون سوء تغذية حادة في اليمن. أكثر من 600 ألف طفل يعانون في اليمن من احتمالية ذهابهم إلى الموت مباشرة بسبب سوء التغذية. الحرب يعني تدور رحاها، والعدوان يأتي على الأخضر واليابس. فالسلطات الأمريكية التي وعدت بوقف إيقاف الحرب على اليمن نقول لهم أوفوا بوعودكم وأوقفوا الحرب على اليمن.
شكرا لك. أكيد بدنا نفرجي بعض الأشخاص أكيد من مختلف الأعمار الموجودين اليوم في هذه الوقفة الاحتجاجية، وكل الشعارات: قتل وحصار الشعب اليمني جريمة إنسانية، جريمة الشرعية والتحالف. أكيد بدنا رأي بعض الشباب ليش موجود اليوم في هذه التظاهرات بالعربي أو بالإنجليزي whatever you like.
We are here today to support Yemen and to talk about all the wrongdoings that Saudi is doing to our country. It is not right. We are by you. We are by your side. We hear you. No matter what they do, they cannot take away Yemen.
awesome. شكرا جزيلا. أكيد كل الأشخاص من مختلف الفئات العمرية متواجدين في هذه أكيد الوقفة. مين بحب anyone would like to talk? We're live on Facebook.
Yes, Najat.
Najat?
She's right there. She's right there.
Can we just show let's show the one you have. أكيد إضاءة على المجاعة التي يعيشها اليمن. أكيد نجاة، إذا بدك وقفي قدامهم نجاة and then edit everything English whatever. Most of them work. I'm gonna have you stand here so they can see people behind you. If you can introduce yourself and then tell us يعني the reason behind the movement you guys are doing today.
Sure. So my name is Najat Nahshan. I'm a community organizer. I'm a PhD candidate in clinical psychology and an activist here in Dearborn. We organize a protest here to raise awareness about what's going on in Yemen. And we have one message and one message alone today. We're not taking any sides. Our main goal today, our main mission is to get out a statement, and that is hands off Yemen, and that's from everywhere. Just hands off Yemen. The bloodshed, it's been long overdue. There's no more blood for Yemen, for you to spill in Yemen. Hands off Yemen everywhere. The Yemeni people deserve better. The Yemeni people deserve better. Free Yemen!
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 Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
Stop the killing! Stop the hate!
Stop the killing! Stop the hate!
1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
Stop the murder! Stop the hate!
Stop the murder! Stop the hate!
Free Yemen!
Free Yemen!
Free Yemen!
Free Yemen!
You should have said they should stand for violence right. Today is Friday.
Hi Anna.
Hi, how are you?
We're live. Would you like to say something?
Absolutely. I'd just like to thank the organizers and everybody who's out here today in support of the people of Yemen, our brothers and sisters. We know Dearborn's a global community, and I'm proud to be out here supporting the cause today.
Awesome. Elizabeth,
Hi.
would you like to say something?
I'm also grateful to be here to stand in support with my Yemeni brothers and sisters.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. Feel my fingers. I know.
يا شباب سوف نقف للسلام الجمهوري اليمني.
ابتدي أياتها الدنيا نشيد
أعيدي وأعيدي وأعيدي واذكري في فرحتي كل شهيدي وامنحي خيرا من ضوء عيدي هددي أياتها الدنيا نشيد هددي أياتها الدنيا نشيد وحدتي وحدتي يا نشيدا رائعا يملأ نفسي أنت عهد عارف في كل ذمة رايتي رايتي يا نسيجا حكته من كل شمس تخرجي خفيضة في كل كلمة أمتي أمتي إن حين المأسى يا مصدر بأسي فاغفري ولاك يا أكرم أمة عشت إيماني وحبي أمميا ومسيري فوق درب عربية وسيبقى نبض قلبي يمنيا لن ترى الدنيا على أرضي وصيا.
فعلا لن ترى الدنيا على أرض وصية. اليمن سوف يبقى حر. اليمن سوف يبقى حر. شاءت السعودية أم أبت، اليمن سوف يبقى حر. تفضل.
Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you all. I want everyone here to take a moment and say Alhamdulillah. Thank God. Take a moment and thank God for the clothes on your back, the shoes on your feet, the cars that brought us here, and the cars that will take us home. Some of us we're shivering, we're cold, but yet we're here. Some of us didn't show up because we're cold. We have the option. We have that luxury. You know who doesn't? Our brothers and sisters in Yemen. Our brothers and sisters in Yemen don't have that luxury. They don't have the opportunity just to stay or just to choose the food they eat, the clothes they wear, the devices they hold in their hands, or whatever the case may be. So I urge you to take a moment right now, look around and say Alhamdulillah. What you and I, this cold we are experiencing right now, it's temporary. Because we're gonna enter our cars, we're gonna go home, we're gonna have a cup of coffee, hot cocoa, some soup, whatever the case may be. But our brothers and sisters in Yemen, they don't have that luxury. And I truly believe, I'm a big believer that on the day of resurrection, God will ask us, what are we doing for the people of Yemen? God will ask us, what are we doing for the people of Yemen? And we're here. We protest despite being in this cold. We raise awareness. We raise awareness and we continuously spread the message. No matter how much you think people know, people don't know. I have friends, neighbors, classmates that don't know what's going on. So maybe we know because we live in Dearborn, maybe we know because we're involved, but please continuously spread the message. The things you can do is consistently raise awareness. Protest, they matter. Give, and more importantly, make dua. Pray. Pray for the people of Yemen. They're struggling more than we can ever imagine. You and I, we have never felt starvation. We have felt hunger. You and I have never felt starvation. We feel hunger. So after that long day of school or work and we say, oh, I'm starving. No, you're not. You are hungry, you're not starving. You know who's starving? You know who is malnourished? The people, our brothers and sisters in Yemen. What's so heartbreaking is, we have people in the community, we have friends and family that go there. They still, despite whatever's going on, they go there, they try going. And I asked a friend, looked at him and I said, hey, how was it? How was your trip? And with the life of me, I was hoping he would say something like, oh, it's not as bad as you think, Isa. I'm really hoping he's going to give me some good news of the situation in Yemen. But instead, he looked at me, nodded his head, and walked away. Our brothers and sisters in Yemen are struggling. So our action items today, if we spread awareness, we are protesting for a reason. We protest with the hope that more and more people will understand and know what's going on. So we will give everything we can. $1, $2, $3, whatever the case may be. Look for trusted organizations we can give to. Raise awareness. Raise awareness to everyone and anyone. Co-workers, classmates. Start off with, do you know what the world's largest humanitarian crisis is? Yemen. So my dear brothers and sisters, we all collectively say a prayer. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask God to alleviate the pains of the people in Yemen. Say Ameen.
Ameen.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask God to alleviate the people in Yemen. Say Ameen.
Ameen.
Allahumma rahmaka bi ahl al-Yemen.
Ameen.
Oh Allah, your mercy upon Yemen.
Ameen.
Oh Allah, we ask you to be with the people of Yemen and not against the people of Yemen, Ya Allah. We ask you to feed them, Ya Allah. God, we ask you to feed the people of Yemen. God, we ask you to nourish the people of Yemen. Ya Allah, we ask you to nourish the people of Yemen. You are the sustainer, you are Razzaq, you are the one who gives the people, you are the one who gives. So we ask you to give to the people of Yemen. Brothers and sisters, please, please do not forget Yemen in your dua. Do not forget Yemen in your prayers, and continuously spread awareness. Spread awareness. Spread awareness. It is never enough. More and more people can know and understand what is going on in Yemen. More and more people need to understand what is going on in Yemen. It is so unfortunate. It is not proud to say we are suffering from the world's largest humanitarian crisis. We have more meat on our forearms than people have on their entire bodies in Yemen. So please, continue to spread awareness. Please give. Please make dua. Please, please, please. They are your brothers and your sisters. You do not have to be Yemeni to understand what's going on in Yemen. You do not need to be Arab. You do not need to be Muslim to understand what's going on in Yemen. You need to be human. We share the same flesh and skin as our brothers and sisters in Yemen. So I beg you, I urge you, I am begging that you continue to raise awareness for what's going on in Yemen. We want peace, period. That's it. We want peace. Every single one of us, every human, everybody in this world deserves peace. The people of Yemen deserve peace. So say it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Louder.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Again, please make dua for the people of Yemen. Allahumma rahmaka bi ahl al-Yemen.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
عيسى. اللهم صل على محمد.
I'll keep this short and simple. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well and thank you. Thank you all for coming out and showing your support for this protest. With that being said, this protest was started so awareness can be spread about what's going on in Yemen. And for us as a community to voice our voices And as you all know, this war has been going on for 7 years. And the question everyone asks is, when is it going to stop? And I know I'm a minor, only at 17, but to my youth community, here's my message to you. You're never too young to take a stand and do something.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Hi, alaikum.
We're live on Facebook. I need something from you. We have Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah, I'm going to talk as soon, inshallah.
I know. Tell us why you're here today in this protest.
I think it's important to know that, you know, much of the solidarity I have with my Yemeni brothers and sisters is stemmed from them standing with my family in Palestine. I can't not be here. I understand the struggle, and this is the most egregious, you know, human pain and suffering that we've seen. It's going on 7 years in Yemen, and I know as a member of the United States Congress, I want them to know not everybody in Congress is not doing anything. We are saying that the President Biden needs to stick to his promise to do something about stopping the sell of the weapons that we're selling them to kill innocent civilians in Yemen, and we have to stop. We need an embargo on the sale of weapons.
Awesome. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Their money, wealth, and status make them feel as if they're even above God himself. It's a game to them. They're just moving pieces on a chessboard, puppets and fake smiles. I only voted for Biden because he said, and I quote, "I would end U.S. support for the disastrous Saudi-led war in Yemen and order a reassessment of our relationship with Saudi Arabia." Quote, Joe Biden, 2019. 3 years later, what does he do? A $500 million arms deal with Saudi. You see how those weapons are being used. It's funny. We invaded Iraq on pretense that they had weapons of mass destruction, yet we are funding the destruction of impoverished nations. I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Now listen, when it comes to Yemen, there is no sides. We need everyone's hands off of Yemen. One more time, I'm gonna say it. There is no sides. We need everyone's hands off of Yemen. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. We wait until the bombs are dropping and the kids are starving to do anything. We gather, beg and plead for them to stop the violence. So they call for a quick ceasefire to shut us up after hundreds, if not thousands, have been killed. After they've already destroyed schools, hospitals, and homes, causing years of setback and struggle. While they're recovering and we're back to living our mindless, peaceful lives, the oppressors strike again and again and again. When will the cycle end? I said the same thing during the Palestine protests. No one is coming to save us. No one is coming to save us. We need to be more disciplined and get serious about the lives we have in front of us. Spiritually, mentally, financially, physically. We need to make sure we are focused. We are blessed to have the opportunity, the lives we have, to gain more wealth and resources and tools to help our people during these times. To help set them up to be self-sufficient and rebuild what we've lost. To build our motherlands to be the flourishing, rich nations that they are meant to be. I love America. The safety, peace, and opportunities we have. Why can't our people back home experience the same? We can't continue to waste our time carelessly living. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to preach. This is a reminder to myself first and foremost. But we got to get serious all year round if we want to make a change. Climb the ladders in whatever you do. Move with purpose. Keep Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart and excel to the best of your ability. We owe it to the children back home who will never have a chance. We got to get seats at the table and call the shots. The United States of America is the epitome of capitalism. It's all up for grabs. We just got to buy our way in. We need to get more people who have our best interest in power. It's going to take time and effort. It's going to take organization and calculated planning. And most importantly, it's going to take unity. Please tell me, how will we fight against oppression if we're busy fighting amongst ourselves? Everybody has to be on the same page, otherwise they'll just keep playing divide and conquer. Pieces on a chessboard. Stop being pawns. We are kings and queens, soldiers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing can break our spirit, nothing can break our will, but we can't just talk about it, we gotta be about it. May Allah free our people and all of the people around the world from the shackles of oppression. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
It's cold, I know, it's really cold, but it matters. It matters for the people of Yemen. Inshallah, we're going to welcome our state representative, or the state representative for Hamtramck, a Yemeni American, someone I consider an older brother, State Representative Ibrahim Ayyash.
All right, I know it's cold, and the question I always ask myself is, how much longer are we going to have this discussion? How much longer are we going to continue to ask the basic question that a people with no decision of their own were thrown into fighting famine and fear? How much longer are we going to tolerate that? And how much longer are we going to continue to allow the United States government to be complicit in this fighting fear and famine? Time after time, year after year, we have seen the brunt of this war. And for many young folks in this audience today, we don't know the direct impact of that war. And for that, we say alhamdulillah. But for everybody else who knows the impact of losing a loved one, who knows the impact of fleeing Yemen or any part of the world where there is crisis, they came into this country because there is a promise that the people have an opportunity to organize. A promise that if enough voices came out and said something and acted on it, that we will start seeing some change. Enough voices that if all of us collectively recognize the injustice and we continue to fight despite the odds, one day we will see that justice come to fruition. And if not us, maybe someone else in another generation would see that justice. So I don't have to tell you all the statistics about Yemen. I don't have to tell you about all of this destruction that happens over and over again. I just want to leave you with one important point. Because I've heard this narrative enough times, whether it's about Palestine, whether it's about Yemen, whether it's the crisis in Sudan, wherever it may be, I've heard this conversation over and over again. Abe, what's the point? Why are we standing in Dearborn? What the heck can we do about the war in Yemen in front of the Henry Ford Library? And that's a legitimate question to ask. But I want you to recognize why this is important. You see, advocacy without organization is useless. I'm going to say that one more time. Advocacy without organization is useless. If you don't put in the work to have a concerted, organized effort, if you don't do the work of telling the story of the people of Yemen and uplifting Yemeni people to share those stories, then we will not move the needle as fast as we would like. If we are not doing the work of contacting our federal representation and advocating the U.S. Department of State and our U.S. Senate and our Congress members and the White House to stop involving themselves by selling weapons that literally killed over 100 people last week, who were imprisoned by a regime for no other reason than racism. If you don't uplift those voices and organize the people around that issue, then someone else is going to tell you the story. And they'll tell you things like Yemen is harboring terrorists. They'll tell you things like this is a situation that they set up themselves, that Iran and Saudi Arabia have nothing to do with this crisis. So you got to recognize, if you continue to stay quiet or ask yourself what's the point, someone else is going to make that point for you. And I promise you that point is not going to emphasize the children that die every 10 minutes. That point is not going to emphasize the women that are raped every single day in Yemen. That point is not going to share the story of men getting amputated and burned to death. That is the point of events and organizing like these. So as you leave today, I want you to ask yourself one question. if you revel in the culture that is Yemen, if you enjoy the music and the food and the clothing and the coffee that hails from the land that built the first skyscrapers, do not detach yourself of the political implications that are happening back there. You cannot enjoy the treasures of Yemen without recognizing the turmoil that is happening right now. Engage yourself and learn about the conflict. Because I tell you, I'm not an expert on the Yemeni conflict, and I know not everybody else in this room, or on the street rather, is as well. But do the work of organized advocacy. Learn the issue, teach the issue, and continue to spread awareness. And with that, I'd like to bring up someone who I have always looked up to as a fighter for greater justice, whether it's in Gaza or Detroit, whether it's in Sana'a or Southfield, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am unapologetically standing with all of you. I know you get a lot of politicians coming up here, but I want you to know I'm a real one because I'm Palestinian. So I know what it means when I have my own country, where I was born, where I was raised, completely turn their backs on my family in the Middle East. I want you to know that there are people like me now in Congress that stand with you, that are saying enough, we need an embargo. We cannot be selling weapons like this that are killing innocent lives. And the young man really spoke to me. I don't know what his name was, but he was amazing. He said everyone's hands off of Yemen, and I feel that in my heart, like everyone, because so many of the people involved put the people, the children, the people in Yemen last. They put their drive, their hunger, the greed, all of that first before the people of Yemen. And let me tell you, no matter how this is going to end, you know it's going to take generations for us to deal with the trauma, the hurt and the pain that we're leaving the children that are impacted directly from the United States literally standing by and watching this happen with no movement. We have to do what's right. And our country needs to be a lead, and it is our country. So I don't want to say the United States, this is our United States of America, and we are Americans that are saying we don't want our resources, our dollars to be used to kill innocent lives anywhere. But in Yemen especially, while people are turning their back, and it is rooted in the fact that we turn our backs all the time in people of color, those that are poor, those that might not be in place of power. We know that they go in when there's this ultimate benefit, maybe in resources that are in the country or whatever it is. We know. But it's about time, because I know this in my heart. More American people are with us when they say enough in sending resources, our tax dollars, our resources here, to going and killing innocent people. And so I just want you to know I'm standing with you strong. I am unapologetic about it. I think people don't even try to change my mind anymore. And so even though I walk in this institution of Congress, and they're never ready for me, they weren't ready for me, they're going to be ready for me, because I'm an extension of this movement here. This movement of saying enough is enough, and allowing literally our family, people, our ancestors, all of them, to be able to be hurt in this way. So I just stand with you strongly, and thank you so much. Please know this, I know Mayor Abdullah Hammoud is on his way, as well as Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. Miller Bridge is getting done. We care about that too, hey. Miller Bridge is getting done finally, and so they're over there doing the announcement, but they're on their way, and they're going to be here standing in solidarity with all of you today. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. I can't thank you enough. I know it's cold, but doing nothing is not an option, and standing here is what we can do to show solidarity in Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
One, two, three, four.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the
3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Thank you, Isa. I'd now like to invite up the first Yemeni American ever elected in Dearborn's government, school board member Adel Mu'zib.
Thank you, Representative Ayash. I would like to thank all of the organizers, the student organizers who have, I know it's very spontaneous and that you came up with this protest, a stand for Yemen, for all of Yemen. And we truly appreciate your leadership. I truly appreciate it. I know that we're here condemning all those who have blood on their hands with Yemenis, all factions, all parties. We're not here to condemn one party or one country. Everybody has their blood on their hands. I know I'm responsible for my words, and I know exactly what they mean. I know some folks would like to politicize this or spin it one way, but we do know Yemenis that we're really tired of outside intervention, and that Yemenis deserve one nation or so many nations or whatever they want, but they deserve dignity. They deserve the option to go to school, to have clean hospitals, to have a nation, to have a state. Unfortunately, Yemenis right now are spread all over the world. And we're here, Yemeni Americans, very proud Yemeni Americans. We truly care for this country. We want this country to revive its history. It has 5,000, 7,000 years of history. Yemen is a nation that is rich with so many resources, with its people as #1 resource for Yemen. So I call upon all of you Yemeni Americans to reach out. I'm really glad that we had some legislatures, and we're going to have also Representative Dingle, Representative Talib. We truly appreciate their activism in DC. Those are the folks who are actually going to make a difference with our voices. We want to make sure that we continue this pressure, not only on them, but also their counterparts, their colleagues at the Congress, at also the US government. President Biden promised that he will exert his pressure, his administration pressure, to end this war, and we're waiting for that. We need to continue doing that. The other thing that we can do is definitely the humanitarian crisis. I know so many of you that know people back home, that know so many organizations. I don't know if Ms. Ahmed has spoken about USS, Iman Ahmed has spoken already about United Humanitarian Relief. Also, there are so many different organizations right now. I don't want to just name a few, but there's so many different humanitarian organizations that are delivering aid. So whatever you can donate with. And also, the most important thing as well is to keep Yemen in all of your prayers. I think right now, Yemenis more than ever, it's already coded as the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. We just want to make sure that Yemenis can live by themselves in a dignified manner. I truly appreciate the organizers, and I thank everybody for coming out today in this cold weather. I know my 2 kids are somewhere here in the crowds, so thank you. Please keep the awareness. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for relief for Yemenis, and inshallah, we hope that 2022 will be the year where Yemenis will sit down at one table and talk to one another without outside intervention and build a brand new Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Free, free Yemen! 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 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! Stop the bloodshed, stop the war! Stop the bloodshed, stop the war! 5, 6, 7, 8! 5, 6, 7, 8! Stop the killing, stop the Abdullah Hamoud is on his way with Representative Debbie Dingle. We have Iman Ahmed, who's going to representing UHF, who's going to come and speak on behalf of United Humanitarian Foundation, which is a non-profit organization with 100% donation policy. She should be here any minute now, but for now,
I see her.
She's here?
Yeah, she's over there.
Iman, are you here?
Yeah, she's over there.
I'll have Representative Abraham introduce her.
I'm ready. Let's do this. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm so proud of you. I mean, just to be here today on this cold, frigid, snowy day, it makes me so happy to have you all here. But we need a lot larger crowd. We need our voices to be heard much louder. We need the support. We need you to let your colleagues know, your friends, your family. Have a few words. Despite being cold, we all find comfort and protection, knowing that we all have warm homes and shelters to go to at night. Let's think about many of our brothers and sisters in Yemen who live in areas without access to electricity or fuel, who live in shacks and tents, who don't know where their next meal will come from, who do not have fuel or blankets to keep them warm at night. I was in Yemen doing humanitarian work with the United Humanitarian Foundation, or short UHF Relief, past summer, and I personally saw firsthand the destruction of Yemen and the catastrophe that these innocent families are going through. When you go home today, I want you to go online and Google a few things tonight. I want you to Google the world's worst humanitarian crisis. And can you guess what will come up? The world's largest humanitarian crisis. Can you guess what will come up? So what I want you to know, and the questions we should ask, is why isn't Yemen getting the proper coverage in media that these innocent families and children deserve? Why aren't we on CNN, BBC? I want to thank WhatsApp Network. They're always representing and showcasing what's happening across the world. So thank you, WhatsApp Network. But we need more. We need more media coverage. We need to showcase what's happening in the world's largest and world's worst humanitarian crisis. So what I want to know is, are you going to continue to be involved? Are you going to continue to be active and speak up? This is not a temporary thing. We shouldn't wait until an airstrike kills hundreds of people to do something. We need to continue to tell the world and hold people accountable on what's happening in Yemen. Let me ask you all something. Is it a coincidence that the U.S. is funding a genocide in Palestine by giving billions of dollars to Israel? At the same time, is it a coincidence that the U.S. is funding a hidden genocide in Yemen by giving billions of dollars to Saudi Arabia? Just something to think about. Let's not forget and pray for our brothers and sisters in Palestine as we continue to talk about the crisis in Yemen. Let's stay focused and work together and continue to raise awareness by sharing, like I said, sharing with your neighbors, colleagues, co-workers, and friends, while holding our elected officials, senators, and representatives who we elect accountable to speak up. This is our job. So to everyone here, please do not underestimate the power of your words, posts, prayers, and du'as. Pray with me. Oh Allah, help and protect the people of Yemen. Help ease their pain and suffering, and help those who are in need, wherever they may be. Ameen. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
UHF, look them up, donate $1, $2, anything and everyone can help. What do we want? Justice? When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! Stop the killing, stop the war! Stop the killing, stop the war! 5, 6, 7, 8! 5, 6, 7, 8! Stop the murder, stop the hate! Stop the murder, stop the hate! Free, free Yemen! 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 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! Stop the killing, stop the war! Stop the killing, stop the war! 5, 6, 7, 8! 5, 6, 7, 8! Stop the murder, stop the the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Louder. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Free, free Yemen.
Free, free Yemen.
Free, free Yemen.
Free, free Yemen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Guys, I know it's cold, but wallahi it matters. Wallah, it matters. They matter. Our people in Yemen are getting killed, malnourished. They're starving. I know we're cold. Move in place, but I promise you it matters. Every single one of you here today matters. Every message, every cry, every plead. Wallahi, it matters. Please continue. I know it's cold. Just hold on a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
Stop the killing, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right, everybody give a round of applause for my brother Isa. This guy gave a khutbah earlier in the day, now he's losing his voice, demanding justice. Now, before we talk about justice, we got to understand what the injustice is. So, by a show of hands, and I want you to be completely honest with me, who here really understands what transpired in Yemen over the last 2 weeks? I hope to see hands not go up so I can share the story. So I say this simply so folks can understand why this matters in this moment. The second point is, you got 2 members of Congress that'll be here. So I want every single Yemeni in the crowd right now to think of what you want to tell your member of Congress as it pertains to U.S. foreign policy in the next 10, 15 minutes.
We're all Yemeni today.
We're all Yemeni today. And the reason why that matters is because I'm going to bring Rashida and Debbie up here, and I want them to hear directly from the voices of those that are impacted. I want you to share what your family stories are. Share the struggles of the punitive immigration system here in the United States. Share the story of what happens all across Yemen that you hear, but maybe they don't. Because it's not often you'll get 2 members of Congress that'll stand in the cold with you to talk about these issues. So what happened in Yemen over the last 2 weeks? Someone said no internet, okay. So let's take a step back about how we got there. An airstrike was sent over to the UAE that murdered several Pakistani and Indian immigrants, likely being paid wages that were inhumane. So in response, the Houthis took responsibility for that particular strike. In response, there was a dramatic escalation by the Saudi-led coalition, which led to the murder of over 100 people in Yemen. That is true. Weapons that were sold by the United States were sent to an airstrike,
وفي شعب عربي
places
موحد
were
في طلب
targeted.
موحد اللي هو وقف الحرب في
Two
اليمن
places
ووقف
two
هذه
places were
الكارثة
targeted.
الإنسانية التي تقضي على العجز والأطفال والنساء
A prison.
فالصوت من ديربورن
I
في
want you
الولايات
to share
المتحدة
your story.
الأمريكية إلى جميع العالم
I want you to
لوقف
share your
الحرب
story.
في
I do.
اليمن ومساعدة اليمنيين.
Come on up. Come on up here. Come on up here. I know. So I want Abdullah and Debbie and Rashida to hear the pain of the people here today. She's angry and I want her to share her story so you guys know what the impact of the war is.
Sorry guys.
I don't mind. Excuse me for my English.
Sorry guys.
I'm new in this country. It's 5 years only. My name is Sina Ali Qaid. Ahmed Qaid. Sorry, I forgot my father's name. I was suffering in Yemen because of the communists. So I flew from the South Yemen, which I'm against, to the bloody UAE. I worked there for 32 years. I saved a lot of money. I built my house in Yemen. And what's happening now in my retirement age? I'm 65 years old, in a state of going home and relax. In my retired age, I am here in USA. USA, they bombing us. USA, the one who supports Saudi Arabia, they bomb my house. They bomb all the school. They destroyed Yemen. They destroyed all the Yemenis. But let me say one thing. The Yemenis people, our men in Yemen, they are really real men. Not Saudi Arabia, not Emirates, not bloody Biden, the liars who I voted for him, who said that he's going to stop supporting bloody Saudi Arabia. That is me. I lost everything. I lost my house. I lost my country. And I'm here in USA. Yes, there is a freedom. But what they're doing, they're taking from you the taxes and they're bombing me. When I says me, means Yemen, yes. Means Sana'a. Yes. I am from Eb. Yes. I am from Ba'dan. Yes. I am from Adan. Yes. I am from Hudayda. Yes. I am from Taz. Yes. Yes, it is me. Yes. I am Yemen. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay, no, please stay, please stay.
نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم
نفديك يا يمن
بالروح بالدم نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم نفديك يا يمن بالروح.
1 minute.
نفديك يا يمن.
صنعاء قبلتنا والحديدة حبيبتنا وعدن دلوعتنا وتعز نهضتنا. أما مأرب ماذا قلت؟
بلادنا.
مأرب حصانتنا. انتبهوا لهذا.
لك يسلم تمك.
All right, give her a round of applause, everybody. Think about what she just said. She was proud of living in Yemen. People tend to think that Yemen is a country that everybody wants to run away from. She wanted to stay, but her schools in her neighborhood and her home were destroyed by taxpayer, by bombs sold by the United States to Saudi Arabia. A deal that was cut by people whose salaries we pay with our taxpayer dollars. This is the story that I want all of you today to hear and to recognize. And I know Rashida and Debbie, you can take this message back to Biden. We turned out in numbers during a pandemic to ensure that Michigan flipped back for Joe Biden so that we can get rid of the man who instated the Muslim ban. But that is not enough. So closing out the story, United States sold bombs, destroyed a prison in Saada that held prisoners that were likely Ethiopian. Over nearly 100 were murdered. And then subsequently another bomb was dropped on the eastern part of Yemen that killed children playing soccer. These are bombs that the United States of America sold to this regime that then is fighting for this idea of protecting Yemen. So I want to give Debbie an opportunity to speak and address the crowd of people that are in deep pain right now. And then we're going to pass it to Abdullah, and then I want people to hear the story. I want them to hear the story of so many of you in this audience. Just like our Hajjah who said her story and why it's so important. So Debbie, please come on up.
So I want to say to you, it is not okay. Rashida and I together have been fighting this war and trying to fight for the United States to understand that the Yemenis need help. And Abe, I got one problem, wherever you went, where Abe. I don't think of Yemen as a country people run away from. I think of it as a country that people here are proud to come from. Their families of the Mideast, and don't ever say people want to run away from a country that is their home.
Ask Debbie Dingle if she takes contributions from Lockheed Martin.
I don't know, because I don't know where I get, but I'll tell you something. I am not afraid to speak up to the Saudi Arabians. And I have told the Saudi Arabians that they should not.
Lockheed Martin, Google it. They sell weapons to Saudi Arabia. She accepts campaign contributions from them.
Hold on. Just a second.
Vote. You know what?
That's not disrespectful. That's fact. Google it.
Fact.
Look it up.
Fact.
Look it up.
I'm going to give you facts. I have stood up to the Saudis. I have told them what they are doing is wrong. I have met with the Saudi Arabian ambassador, and I am fighting the Saudi Arabians in Yemen every goddamn day because it's wrong, and I fight for the people of Yemen. I want to say something to you. 400,000 children. 400,000 children are dying for hunger in Yemen every.
What about the children in Palestine?
It's a
I worry about those children. I just want, listen, I think I just, please, I know, listen, you think, listen, I want you to know, I know it's hard. I was you marching. I'm on the inside, I see it. I know it's hard to see it because I see what she does. I know you don't believe me. I don't stand with anybody. I am not afraid to tell you who's a sellout. But I am telling you, when I felt completely alone, when it came to issues around pushing back against the wars, against really, I believe, racialized wars. They come after our countries, where our family is from. We're so proud.
That's why we support you. We vote for you.
Her fight. Now,
we support you. We vote for you.
Can I back up the circle? One of the things that I want you to know, please, when I see people, whatever they're doing, it matters what they do behind closed doors, and I see it. He knows. We all have seen it. They will say things differently in closed doors. Debbie actually says more in closed doors.
And takes
contributions.
contributions.
No, listen, I just want you to know, like, I've seen her shed tears. From the families, no, I have seen it, but I'm not here to defend, I'm here to focus on Yemen.
Yes. You can't focus on Yemen without looking to the source. Yes.
And
where are the weapons coming from?
Yes.
Which companies are making billions?
Free Yemen!
Free Yemen! Free Yemen! Free Yemen!
Let me say this. I have the mic as a Yemeni American right now.
Yes.
So when we organized this event, we didn't set up a debate. Yes, sir. If you want to advocate for the U.S. involvement in the military-industrial complex, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah. And I will stand with you. Let me speak. I will stand with you. But you got to understand something. I said from the onset, today is a day for Yemeni Americans to be able to address our elected officials to speak out on this conflict. Yes. I am not here to debate who takes contributions from who. I'm not here to debate whether or not the United States is complicit in violence around the world, because we know that to be fact. What I want to happen today, and I can speak for every Yemeni American standing in this crowd right now, we want to ensure that our elected representation hear from Yemeni Americans about the conflict and the massacre that is happening in Yemen. So I want to give the floor to our federal delegation once again to tell us how they are standing with Yemen, and then I want them to hear from Yemeni Americans in particular about this crisis. But before that, I want to hand the mic to Mayor Abdullah Hamoud.
Assalamu alaikum. You know, I have been at countless of protests for Yemen.
Yes.
With my Yemeni sisters and brothers.
We appreciate it.
Because regardless of where you come from today, we're all Yemeni.
Yes, sir.
And the reality is that the humanitarian crisis is just that. It's a crisis for all of humankind, not just for Yemen. And so we use our collective voices to shed light on the atrocities that are happening. And it's on us to hold our elected officials accountable. And it's on us to come together and educate, because educating what is happening in Yemen is first and most importantly, the biggest step that we can take and hopefully advocating for that change. And I know at times it seems as though change is not happening quick enough, and the reality is it is not. But we can't become desensitized. We have to keep up. The protests are great, but the question I have is, what do you do when you walk away from this protest? How do you contact your legislator? How do you contact your congressperson? Are you writing emails? Are you making calls? Are you reaching out? That's what we have to do collectively. And so I'm thankful for you having me here today, and I'm here to listen and here to do whatever I can to use the platform that you've all provided me, and hopefully advocating for that change. Wassalamu alaikum.